folks, Jonathan here. Alright, on today's episode of what did I get myself into when I got this crane, we are going to do some body work on this thing, and it is a mess. Now, I've had a lot of old equipment. I've bought equipment, traded for it. I used to do some clearing and have messed with stuff in the junkyard and everything else, and I have yet to see a machine beat up any worse than this thing. And it's a shame. I don't know why they done it, how they done it. So we're going to try to get something straightened out on it. You can see I got a jack on it here, an old bumper jack. I did that to get this panel to where I could slide it. So I think our goal right now, this is going to be first goal. Okay, instead of worrying about how dented this is, because it's got to be pulled and cut or whatever, I think our biggest concern right this minute is going to be these corners. We're going to come up, I'm going to figure out what this radius was, and we're going to get a piece of pipe, and we're going to put on the inside of here, and we'll run that pipe from there all the way down to where it needed to be to get this back straight. Now, from the looks of the way that this went on to this side, I don't think the door slid in from here. I think they had to be put in from up here. As you can see, there's an area here. So our doors, we just need to get all the tracks straightened out and everything, and then we can do these doors and maybe even do them today if it goes right. I think I'm going to dedicate the entire day to just working on trying to get something straightened out on this machine. Now, this, I think, is actually a piece of angle. It looks like it's a 3/8 angle because it's heavier than a quarter. And it's actually bent. It's hit so hard that it's actually the top of it's bent in, and these are just carriage bolts all the way down. I doubt that we could get them out. The heads of them are about rusted off, so I mean I could cut them if I needed to. Tore it loose, didn't it? Yep. Sure did. Alright. That's probably about as far as we're going to be able to go with that. And we'll just have to bend it, get it back in, get it in place for our pipe. I think We're gonna cut the corners off now. Swing it around the other way and slice the corners out. Add in round pipe. I don't know how it's gonna look, but it'll look better than it looks. It's got to, you know, some uniformity is what it needs. Instead of waves, just straight lines will make all the difference in the world on it. So, terrible situation here. Okay folks, so here's the plan. We're going to use this conduit pipe because it's about the right radius, and we're going to cut out basically a strip in here, put this on the inside, and we're going to weld it up to the top section, and we're going to weld it down to this bottom angle. And then once that is done, we're going to try to straighten this out. We may have to replace this piece here, which wouldn't be an issue, but we'll straighten out what we can and weld up to this piece of conduit. Now this is the same conduit that I used for the engine hoist when I carried it in there to pull this out. It's really lightweight, but it's good stuff. And you know, as long as we're not hitting on trees and stuff, I think we'll be just fine. So that's the plan. And the bottom of this one's straight, so we know we're already in line. The other one we're going to do a little work on, but that's no problem. On the other side, this is actually the easy side, so I just decided to do it first. And so let's see what we can get done on it. I can already see, I don't know if you can see what I'm meaning or not, but because this angle iron's been in, this is pushed in farther than what it's supposed to be. So it's actually supposed to be out a little bit more. So if we come out a little bit more with this, we can come back in here maybe and weld something to one of them bolts and pull that angle and maybe bend it back down. We'll see how that goes as we go. The main thing is trying to get it decent, you know, straight. And I think that radius is going to work out just fine in there. So, but we'll know shortly. All right. What do you hear over there? Is there a dog howling at you? How am I supposed to get any work done? How am I supposed to get any work done? How am I supposed to get any work done? You gonna measure it for me? You gonna measure it for me? Here. All right, let me get to work. You let me get to work. You gotta let me get to work. You let me get to work. Look at all that hair. Look at all that hair you're losing. Look at all that hair you're losing. Is it because it's summer? You need brushed. You need brushed. Huh? You're losing more hair than I am. All right, we got a plan. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna cut the bolts off. There's 3 bolts holding this rail on. Take this rail off. I'm going to leave the top section up here. Let me see if you can see what I'm doing. I'll leave this top section up here so I'll know a length on how far it stuck out. And it's pretty straight. And then we're going to actually cut out that whole piece right here and cut it out from down here, which is probably already rusted out. And then we'll try to straighten this out some, and then we'll start getting our pipe in, and then we'll just put a new piece here and then bolt this back to it. That's the plan. So now that we got a plan, let's get to work. Okay folks, cut out. Here's what we got. You can see it's all bent up. I went in and cut a piece of pipe. So this will get welded up in. But we got to do some hammering and dollying to straighten all this out first. And then hopefully we can get this back as far as we need it. I guess it just needs to be square. So this will have to come back a pretty good ways. And if we got to bring the edge back farther than the center, that's fine. We'll pull the center later. But let's just get it back to where it's on a good 90-degree angle. And hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. I'm trying to use the tripod a little more because I know I make people seasick moving the camera around. So anyway, let me see what I can do about straightening some of that out, and then we will go from there. All right. Okay folks, so we're slowly getting there. Ended up pulling from down here, swung it around, and I pulled it with the winch because that piece of angle was slid in. Them holes are slotted. So I've got it out where it's supposed to be, or just about where it's supposed to be. So we're pretty straight there. I mean, I could actually take and probably like cut this section out and replace it, and you know, get everything else pretty straight. So we may or may not, I don't know. But right now we're going to go ahead and keep working on what we're working on, get the side panel done, and that way we can start doing our doors for it. And not sure how I would do that, weld it up and grind it, or I mean, you could Bondo it, but I mean, I don't think I'd want to put any Bondo in this thing. Just probably weld it up and grind it and put some paint on it and be done with it. But we'll see. Just keep at it and keep trying to straighten stuff out here. All right. Okay, folks, here's where we're at. Panels on, got this bolted in, got it tacked in place. I think what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and go to the inside and cut off about 4 of these bolts and take them out of there. And then we're going to cut a square out, and we're going to go ahead and replace this piece of panel. I think this will be fine. We can live with it. But I'm just going to replace it where it's really bad and beat up and dent it up here. I think it'll work out okay. So let me get at that. We've got most of this taken care of. It's looking pretty good. We've just got some more welding and stuff to do. But we'll be ready to put the door on. Like I said, we're going to put the door on from the other end and slide it on. So might do them here in a little bit. Love to get at least this side of the doors done. And I may not have enough panel for the other side, but they're a lot shorter, so don't take as much. All right. Okay, folks, here you go. Drilled the holes, bolted the panel on, tacked it in a couple spots here. Okay, I cut the inside out 14 tall, but this is 14 and a half. So what I'm gonna do is take my cutoff wheel and I'll cut it even, and then that'll give me my gap to weld, and I'll grind it. And same thing with here, I'll cut down through. And I probably won't do a lot of welding on this yet, because this will have to get replaced when we do the other side. It's just easier for me to do it like this half at a time than what it would be to cut the whole panel out. So, and it's easy to weld together, so not a big issue there. And I think the rest of this could be body worked or left like it is, you know, without hurting anything. I mean, I'm going to get some more welds on it and stuff, but let me go ahead and trim down through here and then get this lined up and even and weld it up like I want it. All right, folks, this is what I mean about getting carried away with stuff, and I'm bad for it, but I guess it's just the way it goes. But anyway, so this is pretty much tacked in here, and we're getting ready to start on the other side. I was going to go ahead and do the doors, but I think I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to go ahead and try to get the other side done. This radius here is what this thing is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a, you know, a short, sharp radius, not like this. This looks like it was a really big radius, but it really wasn't, or it's not supposed to be. And this piece is broke loose on here, so we've got to get everything back where it needs to be and straightened out. So we'll start by cutting this off, and so what we'll probably end up replacing, probably leave all of this and replace maybe from here around, and then our pipe, of course, and then the piece forward, and we'll straighten this out and put it back on like we did the other side. So yeah, I haven't went any farther, you know, with this, because we're going to replace up to it, but looking really good, you know, I think anyway. And you know, it'll look better as we go, the more we get done on it. So there it is so far. Let me jump on the other side and start chopping away. All right, folks, so we're trying here. We got pieces bent here. This is bent, coming out. We got to get it straight. We got this cut away, and the bracket at the top is bent. So we're going to fight with this for a little while to get everything as straight as we can get it, and then we'll go from there. So the reason, I can see more problems here. We need to weld that down. Okay, I probably wouldn't even fix this thing body wise and stuff, and I know a lot of people want me to paint it. I wouldn't have painted it. I would not paint this machine, and it's just too far gone. But there's one reason I'm going to, and the only reason, and that's because it's painted yellow and it's not supposed to be, and it just kills me. It's like the 16-year-old kid that took a torch and lowered his springs, you know, on his car and ruined it. And you know, he needs his butt whipped for it, and whoever painted this thing yellow needs their butt whipped for it. This machine is supposed to be orange, and I think it should be put back orange, and that's just me, and that's just the way it is. And that's why that cover, that gear unit, was painted orange when I put it back. And you can see the old orange on there, but it used to be a bright orange. I made a lot of toys of this machine, probably more toys than they did the real machine, and they're all over eBay. And they're all orange, you know, the truck mounted ones and the regular ones. And it's like I got some Detroit oil leaks to fix, which is nothing new, but I mean, they're simple on this thing. But anyway, so that's the plan. We're probably going to paint it, but we're going to paint it orange. We're not going to paint it yellow. I like yellow, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's no problem, but it's not the right color for this machine, and it irks me. It really bothers me a lot. And so we're going to take care of that problem. All right, so we're trying to twist this thing around and get it back where it needs to be, but I noticed that they even welded it with it off. This strap's supposed to be straight in here, so I'm going to have to put something to this and hook the come along to it and probably pull this whole piece back, well, forward. After I cut this off, this is supposed to be straight up and down, and this is supposed to be another probably inch that way at least. So this thing has been that way for a long time. It looks like they fixed it that way and just wanted to leave it by that weld. So I don't think they cared a whole lot. All right, folks, we're done for tonight.
About that damn long. I eat almost all of it. I did take some of it.
Alright, so we got some more to do. We've got the doors to make. Get this straightened out a little bit more, and then we'll get it welded in. Alright, folks, picked up a International 392 engine and an automatic transmission, which I think is a Borg Warner. It's not the Chrysler, it's cast iron and got International Harvester on it. But anyway, we're going to be doing a first start on this before too long. Got a feeling this might have some stuck valves or possibly bent push rods, but we'll see. But 4-barrel engines, so the 345s usually were 2-barrel and the 392s were 4-barrel. But this has got the original Holly for it. This is actually in a motorhome, which is kind of surprising. But anyway, I want to tell everyone I really truly appreciate everything everybody done with the donations to Mike. I told Debbie, well, she didn't know that I had done YouTube videos, and I told her that I was going to see if I could get some donations coming in, and because she was really worried about it and not getting anything in, and it kind of bothered me, so I wanted to make sure that everything was taken care of. So that morning when I posted that video and everybody started donating, she messaged me and told me that she started crying, and that's all she could do was cry, because she had no clue that we was going to be able to get donations coming in like that. So and I told her, even though I know she had a limit on the money, I told her to go ahead and let it run until she had enough to take care of all the stuff. And I do appreciate that so much. Mike done so much for me, and kept me out of a lot of trouble. I mean, taught me a lot, but kept me from turning in a bad direction. And he was a mentor, but he was also like a dad, and somebody that was brutally honest. You ask him a question, and a particular car. He wouldn't volunteer information, but if you ask him a question about a car, and if it was a piece of crap, he'd tell you it's a piece of crap. He wouldn't sugarcoat anything. So, really good person. But anyway, I'll talk more about him later, because I've got some stories I'd love to tell. But anyway, I appreciate it. We got quite a bit done on the crane today, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more done And again, I do appreciate so much that, you know, everybody that donated, and I appreciate everybody that didn't donate that said they would and, you know, didn't make it there in time. You know, it was amazing, the help. And one thing about it is Mike would have never asked for help, period. And it's just a good thing that we was able to do it for him. And he was a very, very deserving person. You know, my bill with him would never be paid for what he'd done for me. So, no matter what I done. So, and I don't think it would have mattered to him either way. But all right, well, I do appreciate it, and I appreciate everybody watching, and hopefully we'll get this crane finished up to where we can move along with some other things. All right, bye.